Good evening and welcome to episode 39 of the 214 Sports Show, your home for everything DFW Sports. My name is Joseph Duffy and I'm joined alongside just one of the co-hosts today in Courtney Machani. TJ Krulowitz is absent today as he's on vacation. Hope you get back soon, TJ. We miss you, man. And the Stars who just had a quick little loss, but I hope they can win for you, my friend. So, Courtney, how you doing right now?
I'm just waiting to see when my vacation hours get approved too. Since yeah, I've been chilling, man. It's early morning here, but it rained a lot, man. I don't know if it rained where you're at, but it was storming. So
Yeah, the rain is just now starting where I'm from. Not too crazy, but it's starting to kind of pick up. But
how you doing? How you doing, Joe?
doing all right. I'm chilling, doing nothing,
Yeah,
just still trying to look for some more jobs to stay busy because I am bored out my mind. But
yeah.
ain't nothing really
For
going on. I really just want to get back to work, and
actually, I
I've
have an
been
interview at 11 a.m. So that's at Family Dollar, which Family Dollar.
dude, these rejections are
Yeah,
hitting different. It's
we can
getting
have
it's
a whole pod about the economy right now, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know what I'm doing wrong, man. These rejection letters are hitting
Nah, man.
crazy.
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah, bro. I gave up. I gave up on the video production in the ship sports. I said, if it happens, it happens. Let me just go try to find whatever job I can. Because last year, I don't know if you remember, last year it took me to like late July to find a job. And then
Right.
at that point, like I had no income, so I just said, let me just find something.
So you work at folks don't know he's working at AutoZone too, and he had to let him know. He said, well, he wasn't supposed to, go so early, I guess. But you did what again? You said.
May not have just completely busted the entire company. Maybe not.
Maybe
No,
a birdie just said it.
yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, we're gonna go ahead and start the podcast. A lot going on in DFW sports, man. It's been an interesting week for those who believe in the cross team Dallas sports curse. You may have been vindicated this past week, as it has been a very interesting week. All three teams don't win on the same day, even though there's been a lot of action for a lot of teams every few days. But there's got to be, as people like to say, quote unquote, to sacrifice a team to lose in place of the other. If the Stars win, the Rangers and Mavs lose. If the Mavs win, the Rangers and Stars lose. And then, other different variations. But recording this on a Thursday morning, since the last episode, the Dallas Mavericks lost game 4, but they take advantage and win game 5, a pivotal game 5 that is in OKC, a very raucous environment. Rocking the white jerseys against the navy blue OKC Thunder. And I mean, this is a game that the Mavericks pretty much they had control of the entire time, Courtney, and it didn't seem like they really let go.
Yeah, this game was kind of a repeat of game four. In game four, if I remember correctly, the OKC Thunder didn't have the lead until the last couple minutes of the game. I'm not sure if they didn't have the lead, but I know they had their largest lead of the game, which was like 3 or 4 in the last couple stretch of the game. So obviously, this kind of felt like a repeat of game four, which kind of had me scared a lot. Because obviously, if we could talk about game four, um, they're in control, but they could have been in more control if they hit the free throws. Obviously, I think they went around 50%, which is not going to really win you a lot of games, especially in a game where you lose by under 5 points, I believe. That's going off the top of my head, but a game where you lose in such a close manner, and you miss 10-ish free throws. I mean, every free throw matters. Every free throw is important. So it kind of scared me a little bit. Obviously, I think this game 5, the refs called a lot more physical game. There was a lot of people going to the line, especially when you're facing a team like the Thunder and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, who loves to get to the line. I was surprised not see a lot of free throws. And because of that, I don't know if that helped, but Dallas shot 70%. So Obviously, there's an improvement, and I think whenever they have control of the free throw game, I feel like there's not really a lot that this Thunder team. I feel like we just that good against this Thunder team. I mean, I think that's the reason why we had the control. Obviously, we've seen this whole series. What I also liked about the series, we've seen this from this whole series that it's really PJ Washington, Kyrie, and Luka. Not even Luka at this point. It's just PJ Washington and Kyrie. I feel like sometimes, and Derek Lively and Gafford too. But now, I mean, you're seeing Derrick Jones Jr. contribute. Um, Obviously, the centers are doing their job. And it just seems like more players are stepping up as the series goes. I think PJ Washington only had like 10 points. Obviously, the last thing I'll say is it makes sense that the Mavs will be in control. When Luka finally does Luka things, he dropped a triple double, had 30 points. Regular Luka stuff is what we've been seeing from him the whole regular season. We've kind of been waiting to see that good Luka game in the playoffs. And I mean, I hope hope he continues it. I don't know. I'm not gonna say he's back. I think that knee is still bothering him, but I have very good hopes about Game 6. We should literally be facing. We should literally be like already looking at the Nuggets and Timberwolves game. Like
Oh
there's no
man.
reason that there's
Oh,
no reason they should have lost game 5, like or
you're
game
right.
4, game 4.
It's one of those classic DFW playoff games where you just let it slip right through your fingers in Game 4. I mean, that was pitiful. You were leading the entire time. And if you look at Game 5, it was almost like
Yep.
um, the same like game, like bar for bar, except with the choke in the end in Game 4. The Mavs leading with almost the same first half score. But looking at Game 5 here, the Mavs won this game because Luka Doncic took over, and I just wish that he kind of did defer at times with Kyrie to help him out because I know his body is going through a crazy, crazy load right now. It's insane. You look at all his injury report they've been reporting on. He's been going through knee soreness, back soreness.
Did he say
Uh,
when they asked him they said what hurts, he said everything?
I mean, pretty much. That
Yeah.
dude is putting it on the line. I don't want to hear anybody question his toughness anymore at this point. I mean, this dude is doing everything he possibly can. And I feel like at times he really doesn't because he has a guy in Kyrie, albeit, not prime Kyrie anymore, but still can help offset the pressure that he has on this offensive side of the ball. But I think one of the biggest storylines, I want to do shout out Derrick Jones Jr., like you said, who had a very good game, who had to start tonight 7 of 9, 3 of 5 from 3-point range, 19 points in the win. I mean, you talk about a guy who's known as a dunker for his entire career,
Yep.
and all of a sudden shooting the rock. You love to see it. Not as many free throw opportunities for the Mavs this time around, and in their limited free throws, 10 of 13, much better than game 4, where the Mavs shot, I believe, let me see, 12 of 23. That was the difference maker
Yeah.
from game 4. I mean, breaking every
Thanks.
single free throw opportunity. Luka
Luca,
missing
oh man,
missing
not
one. Ugh, that clank.
the agendas on Twitter are so nasty up there, man.
And I
Oh
don't know if
man.
you've been to the American Airlines Center, but they put mics right on that net. So when you miss a shot there and you clank it, bro, it echoes in the entire
Yeah,
arena. It's been that way my entire life. It's not like any other arena, but when you miss there, it's a different type of sound. So, man, that
yeah,
break
I
was
felt
very
that
loud
one.
last time in Game 4. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, I will say I'm not sure why PJ Washington. I love the guy, Frisco native. I'm not sure why he was so passive this game. I thought they were trying to make the extra pass a little too much um, on the 3-point line in this ball game. I'm not sure why. There were a lot of wide
Yeah,
open opportunities that they could have
too
taken
many.
advantage of. For PJ, who's been having a hot streak, you can argue he's been shooting the rock the best these past in this entire series for the Mavericks. But I'm not sure why he's being so passive. I think it's time for Kyrie to close it out in Game 6, which we'll get to in a second. But I think the biggest difference maker overall has to be just Jalen Williams, J Dub getting outplayed right now. I mean,
Yeah,
it's not even close. If Jalen Williams was playing like how he was hyped to play from the regular season and even from the Pelican series, I think that this series, I mean, you could argue they could be leading right now. Chet Holmgren has shown up. Shea has shown up. I mean, that's not even like a discussion. Shea has been there the entire series.
entire
Chet has had
series.
Chet has had his times every now and then. Lou Dort had his times every now and then, but I don't think Jalen Williams has really had a great game at all. Again, game 5, 12 points, shooting 6 of 13. He's getting outplayed a lot by, other role players from the Mavs that no one like even expects to even expects to show up in the box score that much.
Yeah.
And you just hate to see that from a young perspective.
What I'm liking from this Jason Kidd-led team is what I'm realizing from how he guards this Thunder team. They're actually playing really good on defense a lot more. Obviously, those runs at the end of the game are killer, and that's kind of when the defense has broken down. But before that, like you said, the two centers are doing an amazing job in Gafford and Lively in stopping any paint direction. And when they stop paint direction, the perimeter players are doing a good job of running them to 3-point. I mean, they're not letting these stretch bigs, you may say, like get in there, get to their spots or hit those threes or even get in the paint. I mean, a lot of this Thunder offense is coming from this SGA midi pull-ups. I mean, which is cash for him. But times, like, unless they go on a little run or little momentum, there's not a lot of threes really coming from this team. And there's not really a lot of too much paint points coming from this team. I mean, I think when this Mavericks team is disciplined, like you said, Jada, which shout out to him, he got an overall boost in 2K. I think he's an 88 overall now, which got a lot of discussion.
So tired of that.
I personally don't agree. I think 88 overalls should be reserved for, like Kyrie's in the world.
They destroyed my game.
Yeah, it's nasty. But shout out to him. I don't think he's playing like an A overall right now. But, I guess, we still got a series. We still got one more game at least. So we'll see how it comes up next game. But I definitely like the way they've been guarding him so far.
Yeah, for sure. The defense of the Mavericks, I mean, what is that now? That's the last game they held the Thunder to 100 points. This game holding them to 92. This Mavs defensive turnaround from the start of the season it's insane. And we all know that, they turn up the heat. Every player turns up the heat with playoff defense. Players start missing more shots for a reason. It's because of the effort and the buy-in from the playoff, chase, trying to hunt for a title. And you're not just giving up these free shots anymore like the regular season because you don't want to, be hurt. But the playoff defense is different. And you're seeing how much the players have bought into it defensively, and also the youth of the OKC Thunder on display in the way that they are also at times being passive. And I don't know about you, but I have, feelings at times that, we're begging this guy Shea not to go Brunson on us. Because there's times, I mean, he could ball hog if he wanted to, but he loves to make the extra pass sometimes. I'm really shocked at that. I don't know if you are, but he makes it.
Especially because he's not a point guard. I mean, he's a point guard, but he's not like a point guard.
Yeah.
So when he makes the extra pass, I do kind of get shocked too because, like, honestly, I'd rather just have you just play hero ball. Honestly, just do your thing. I feel like that's even more scary than watching Jalen Williams, who isn't really hot from the field right now, or Aaron Wiggins or Chet or I don't even know the other role players off the top of my head. Lou Dort, obviously. Like, I'm not really like you can have them hoop. Oh yeah, Isaiah Joe. You can have them hoop, but if SGA really takes 30 shots in a game, I don't know how many shots he usually takes, but if he really ball hogs, it'll be a lot different of a game because those mid-range pull-ups are cash.
It's money. I mean, it's insane. My dad, listen, he's not as big of a basketball fan as he used to be. He's, getting a little bit older and, sports wise, he's more just drifting just to be more football centric these days. Less basketball, less baseball. He used to be, locked into every single sport in the DFW area, but he's just not figuring out about SGA. And he keeps seeing that mid-range game. Man, he's like, this dude is smooth. I mean, it's cash every time. I'm like, you don't know SGA? You don't know who this dude is? I mean, he's been like this the entire season. You can argue he was robbed of MVP.
MVP, yeah. And my favorite trope is when I'm gonna cut you off. My favorite trope is when older people learn about a new player every playoff season.
Hilarious.
Because my dad also just learned about SGA. and they just like, how can they stop him? They can't stop SGA. It's just like it's just
Like, where
hilarious
y'all
every
been?
time.
How do y'all not hear this name? Like he's been in the league since what 2018. Same draft as Luka,
Yeah,
and I swear, like he's never heard of this guy. He doesn't recognize him at all until I told him that he played with PJ. And at the time, PJ was at Kentucky. Shea was also the starting point guard there. And then my dad started connecting the dots, but he didn't recognize him at first. But he didn't realize he was a top 3 player in the game. And
and then in the
like
game, yeah.
game 1 when he was going crazy in that like blowout win, uh, my dad was like, "Who is this?" He's like, "Who is this going crazy?" Like, well, y'all can't make a stop in this
Oh
dude.
my
I'm like,
god.
this is a runner up at best finish for MVP who arguably could have won. He's not just somebody who's dominating us, just anybody. So, lastly, in this, I mean, the decision in Mark Dagnall to start Isaiah Joe.
Over Giddy.
I
Yeah,
mean, that kind of backfired. Even though Giddy didn't have exactly an amazing game, still had 11 points off the bench, 5 of 8, 1 from 3, 1 for 3 3-point range. Isaiah Joe 2 for 9 overall from the field, 2 for 8. Picked up a quick 2 fouls in the first 3 minutes of game action. Quickly did not help the OKC Thunder efforts right there in Game 5. But looking ahead to Game 6 briefly, how can the Mavs close this out in the AAC? Is it going to have to be, like how they closed out the LA Clippers? Is that going to have to be, first half effort, a very quick finish? Or is it going to have to really come, basically in the fourth quarter, like hero ball effort from Kyrie and Luka? How do you think the Mavs win this game?
I think
If they win.
yeah, if they win, I see the AAC is gonna be rocking. We don't want to repeat game four for sure. I think if they want to win this game, I think Luka has to carry the momentum onto game five to game six. I think now they see the fear. I mean, I feel like they're always fearful of Luka, obviously. But it's just a random play that just hit my mind. I remember in the fourth quarter, they're going on a little run. And then the Mavs were on possession. I think they missed the first shot. They rebounded, threw it back to Luka. Luka shot not 3 point line, but a little further than that. Just straight cash, and it's just like, oh yeah, the game's finished. And just stuff like that. The Luka magic that we see is just like they have to start that early. Like he can't get hot in the second half. He has to have like one of those performances where he has like 15 to 20 at the end of the first. At the end of the first, not the first quarter. I mean, he can have 50 at the end of the first quarter. He's done that before, obviously, but I need him to have about 20 points at the end of the second, at the end of the first half. Like I need him to really do his thing. Um, I mean, I feel like Kyrie isn't really needed. I'd say not needed, but like I feel like he doesn't need to have a crazy game for us to pull it out. I think it's possible. I think we have the Thunder reeling a little bit because I feel like they both also think that they should have gone away with game five or yeah, game four. Game four. So I think if we just have a lot of Luka magic, I feel like if he builds his momentum, and I feel like he's motivated because I know he does not want to go into game seven. His body's hurt. Like he needs to finish his game tomorrow. So I feel like Luka Magic probably gonna help, and then just play the same defense. I feel like there's not really much adjustments that they can really make. I feel like they've been playing a good game this whole series. Obviously, other than like the game one blowout, I feel like they've been playing a decent game this whole series. They just need their star player to be their star player.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's been proven that Kyrie doesn't have to be, taking over crazy for this Mavs team to win. It just has to be good defense and, a nice Luka effort with some solid role playing that can get the Mavericks this win. But man, I hope they can knock down more free throws with the opportunities they have because for some reason we're not hitting the free throws at the same volume when we're at home. Not sure why that is, but like I was saying, we just gotta hope that Shea doesn't try to take over and get like 30 shots in like with the Jalen Brunson usage. But
Oof.
because
I
man,
don't
because
know.
it really seems like it's cash every time this guy shoots. So I hope that they can possibly find a way to guard him effectively. And the Thunder keep missing 3-point shots because they've not been shooting well from 3-point range in the last few quarters that they've had. Even though they shot actually 25% in Game 5. Wow. 25% from
Oof.
three, 10 for 40 as a team. Yeah. Not good at all. So I need PJ to wake up again. We need you big for Game 6 because we cannot be going back for a pivotal Game 7 in OKC. That's a very different environment there, even though I wouldn't say it's like, Oracle Arena in those dynasty
Not
years.
even like 2015, 2014 case. Okay, see
Oh,
that was
yeah,
rough.
that crowd was different. I don't know. What is going on with these crowds, by the way? I mean, I'm not trying to hate, but man, that Dallas Mavericks crowd in Game 4, what are we doing? I
I don't
mean,
even know. I can't tell you the best crowd this whole playoffs. Like, not even just Mavericks, but just any playoff team. I can't tell you what the best crowd has been, honestly.
I
Like,
think the only one is MSG. That's the only one I can think of.
yeah,
That place
yeah.
has been actually like, it's actually set some kind of standard. TD Garden, no. Um, Definitely not AAC, not the Nuggets place, not the Timberwolves place. I mean, what happened to like these rocking environments, man? It's like people don't care to
Uh,
wear the shirts anymore, hardly. They already don't want to, make any noise. You gotta have these PA guys bully the fans into wearing the shirts because they
wearing the
don't feel like
shirts,
wearing the
literally.
shirts. So I don't understand what it is. Mavs win Game 5, 104-92. They will play Game 6 at the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas, on Saturday. Um, that is an extra day because of the travel back to Dallas, so they're getting a full day off. And they will play that game at 7 o'clock on Saturday, trying to close out the number 1 seeded OKC Thunder for a potential matchup against who do you think?
The Nuggets. I really wanted to be a Timberwolves, but there's no one that can stop Nikola Jokic, and we always play good against Nuggets, right? But I ain't want to give a random preview, but I just have to get this off. We always play good against the Nuggets, but that boy Nikola Jokic had a masterclass last game. I mean, he did that against the DPOY. Obviously, Rudy Gobert isn't as big as Nikola Jokic, but he still has one of the most DPOYs in NBA history. Like he's a good defender, but that boy Jokic is man. I don't know what happened to the Timberwolves, man. 2-0 up 2-0, and then Jokic just. And if you look at it, I mean, that Nuggets team really isn't nothing about. Like Jamal Murray isn't doing anything. Like I really don't know. Aaron Gordon is probably their second best player right now. Like it's actually crazy what Jokic is doing. So yeah, it's gonna be the Nuggets. Who do you think?
Yo, that was as perfect as a game, by the way, that anybody could play. I think it's gonna be the Nuggets. I feel so bad for the T-Wolves fans because
I
you can
want
tell
it so
you can
bad.
tell they all thought they were about to cruise.
Yeah,
But man, like 2-0, I mean, it sparked some crazy conversations, first of all. I mean, you would think the series is over right there. You had Chuck saying the series was already a wrap, Stephen A saying it was a wrap. Um, yeah, people comparing Ant to Michael Jordan again.
yeah.
We've seen it all season long. I had people saying this is the best defense of all time, and here we go. Denver leading 3-2. Let's see what they can possibly do in Game 6 to possibly stay alive after they've lost now 3 straight, possibly blowing 4 straight games in a series. They're leading 2-0.
Nothing.
Draymond, you've been taking shots at Rudy Gobert. I don't know if you've been seeing it on social
He
media,
just been
but
taking shots at everybody,
man,
bro. I mean,
he cannot stand Rudy.
he can't stand him. And he did. And then he even said that he could guard Jokic better than he's going guard right now, which I don't know how true that
That's kind
is.
of crazy.
But he just went to Atlanta just to hate, and I respect it. I respect
It's
it.
dedication. It's good dedication. Some people are saying this is a good way for TNT to go out to make the pain easier because Draymond,
Yeah,
they don't think Draymond's doing as good on air. But I think
yeah.
he's kind of entertaining and funny. But he was doing too many of them jokes, way too
To
many.
me, yeah, he is trying like the wee joke.
Oh yeah, the wee wee
Yeah,
joke was
he
crazy.
said
No,
you nigga stop. Nah, that's funny.
nobody laughed, bro. Vince Carter, he's probably over there just like, what's this dude talking about, man? What is he talking
Nah,
about?
he hates Rudy Gobert.
No,
And
you.
I'm reading Yusuf Nurkic trying to get into a conversation on Twitter. It's just like, bro, Nurkic, you had a terrible series. What are you doing, bro? Get off of. I don't know. It's just
Yusuf
this new
Nurkic.
age, man.
I don't know,
I
man.
didn't know he even owned the Twitter until last year when he said this brother needs help. Like, it's absolutely
It birthed a generational meme, though.
birth the
It birthed a
generational.
great,
It,
great
it
meme.
did. And that
Yeah,
brother
bro.
still needs help. He
That
needs
brother
therapy.
needs help. How is it the same guy who's been doing all these things this past 2 years? How is it? When I look at him in the panel, I don't see that guy for some reason who was stomping Sabonis, who was, throwing down, who was
Who's
choking
doing that?
Rudy. I don't see that guy. It's like it's an alter ego. I hear that Chris Benoit music, bro. Every time I see him, bro, I just hear. Like it takes him one
Bro,
second for that dude to snap. He went to his little
yeah,
classes for therapy to
the
get him back right, and I'm like,
the
okay,
Golden State jersey must be like a green guy with a mask or something.
gotta be calling his
Once he
name,
turns, yeah, once he puts that thing on, it's a different man. It's absolutely insane.
man. That'll do it for the Dallas Mavericks here. Heading to Game 6 in the AAC in Dallas. I want to talk a little bit about the World Series champion, Texas Rangers. As of this morning, Thursday morning, on May 16th, they are 23-22, second in the AL West. Just last night against the Cleveland Guardians, dropped their second consecutive series. Um, but they did win 4-0 to break that 5-game losing streak against, get this, the hottest team in the league, the Colorado Rockies, and then losing to the first place in the AL Central, Cleveland Guardians. So since this last episode, this team has been reeling. I mean, last time we thought we were just, about to start waking up. The offense was starting to heat up. And, this team was dominating the Oakland A's in the Coliseum. And then all of a sudden, this past weekend, we travel to Coors Field, a place that's known for being a hitter's paradise. All the air that this allows the ball to travel even more. And the offense does not even show up. We talked about all offseason how this team is going to have a lot of injuries through pitching. We talk about how the bullpen is going to be a little bit better than the last one, but still not going to be an amazing, effective bullpen. They've been showing up at least. The pitching has shown up. Who would have thought that coming in to this 2024 season that the lineup would be what's kind of holding the Rangers back thus far? And even though the Rangers are actually doing pretty good with the runners in scoring position overall, top 5 in the league, this offense is just not timely at all, and they can get in some major, major slumps. So since last episode, the Rangers have lost to the Rockies 4-2, a game that they blew. They were leading, I believe, 2-1 in the late stages. They then lost to the Rockies 8-3 that following day on the Saturday. And then the Sunday game, the Mother's Day game, they lost 3-1. They got swept by one of the worst teams in the league, who all of a sudden are the hottest team in the league because they just won a few more games against San Diego. Man, I got nothing to say about this team, but they're about to chill out against the LA Angels. Hopefully, chill out if you want to call it that. But at least it's a home series. I'm curious your thoughts, maybe if you have any.
I mean, from what I've seen, obviously, what we saw on paper is not what we're seeing in the game. I mean, there's no reason why this team should even be putting up nothing burgers as good as the offense looks. I mean, it's kind of nasty. Obviously, we know injuries have a point. Corey Seager, I feel like they're still trying to become. First of all, Corey Seager isn't playing as much as good as I expected him to play. Obviously, he's still coming back from a little injury and everything, so take that with a grain of salt. But I mean, you would never expected him to be one of those people in the offense that we would see struggle. It's kind of crazy. And it's kind of crazy because this Rangers offense as overall in the AL is top in runs scored. So they are still a good offense.
Yeah,
Like
it's wild.
it's still a good offense, but I guess they just score a lot of runs in games that don't matter. But when the games actually matter, they just put up nothing. And so I think they're about fifth or sixth in runs per game. So obviously those are very um very skewed, but it's like they could put up points. I think they had a bad stretch. Obviously, like if we did this episode on Tuesday, like we were supposed to do, I mean, it would be even worse. I mean, at least they got a W. You know what I'm saying? But Jesus, I mean, to get just dropped a series like that is just nasty. I mean, every day I just see like a new picture of Adolis Garcia just holding his head, like it's disappointment. Like, that's all I've been seeing recently. So I'd say, obviously they dropped first place in AL now. Mariners are first place, but I mean, obviously this AL West isn't something that is I'm worried about too much, just because the Astros aren't doing good either. And that's probably even a worse. There's probably a podcast out there somewhere that has even worse things to say about the Astros than we do about the Rangers. So um, I feel like we're not in control of the division, obviously, but I feel like we are the favorites. And I feel like they're gonna put it together eventually. Obviously, it's a long season. We still haven't even got to true summer baseball yet. So I'm just holding out hope. Maybe it's a repeat of last year when they actually last year, not necessarily because if I remember correctly, last year they actually started off hot. Um, and then they went on that little cold stretch, and then they started off hot again, and then cold stretch, and then playoff baseball that we saw happen. So it's not a repeat of last year, which is interesting, but maybe that's a better thing. Maybe towards the end of the year, we ought to see them just drop a whole bunch of games and almost do playoff position. But I don't know. I don't know. This offense has the potential, but I'm just not seeing it.
I mean, that's the thing about baseball slumps, man. It's wild. I've seen it my entire life, as long as I've been a baseball fan. Them losing streaks, man, they're coming. I mean, you're going to have at least one that goes at least 3 games in a season. And, when they happen, when they finally come, especially against teams that you're supposed to win, it really makes you question the love for the sport. Because man, you're supposed to beat teams like the Rockies, but every now and then your bats just, they don't correspond with what you're seeing, and you just look lost at the plate, and that's what that Colorado series was. Somehow, a team that's one of the worst rotations in the league shut us down. I mean, we could not score even 5 runs in Colorado in that park somehow, leaving runners on base. Couldn't even scratch a win in Colorado after we dominated them last year when they were in Arlington. When they came to Arlington last season, it was just blowout after blowout after blowout, clean sweep, not even close. But man, I mean, this offense, like you said, I think we have to make sure that we don't get carried away. I have to remind myself that too, because it is a long season. Like you said, we haven't hit summer ball yet, and we've only played really a month and some change of ball. It hasn't been that long, if we're being honest. It's only been really a month and a half, I
Yeah.
believe now. So as long as the division is still in play, a lot of us were not expecting this team to just run away with first in the AL West with all these injuries. Still the most injuries in the major leagues right now, with 13 guys on the IL right now. 13 who have been on the IL, I believe now. So still leading the league. Um, I just didn't. I underestimated how big of a difference Josh Young would make from the lineup since his injury, because ever since he got hit in the hand by Phil Maton in Tampa Bay, this offense has not been the same at all. So hopefully this team can finally start to turn it around after this win against the Cleveland Guardians in a game, in a series they've been dominated in, really, at the Globe Life Field, which they have not played well in at all, actually.
Uh,
Not too much of a home field advantage this season, but hopefully this team can finally start to get it going against a lesser opponent in the LA Angels. Ron Washington, I love you. You're my manager for life, but we're going to have to get some wins against your team, man. We're going to have to get some wins. They had a little bit of an embarrassing exchange 2 days ago with Luis Guillorme not getting the sacrifice bunt down, and a double play kind of happening because of that. And Ron Washington kind of threw his play under the bus in the post-game presser, saying you have to get that bat down to the ball to allow the squeeze bunt to go through. So they're kind of reeling right now as a team. They started off better than people thought, but they're kind of reeling right now in Mike Trout's absence. And ever since his injury, they've just been going down, down, down in the AL West chase. And the Astros they keep going up. So they're still, I believe, the Astros still 7 games under 500 as it stands right now. Not what they're looking for, but while everybody else is reeling and the Mariners and Rangers not playing their best ball, the Astros are starting to kind of become a better team, and their offense is starting to look more like the Astros offense that we've come to know. So
yeah.
this Texas Rangers team, they got to get it going, because you're very fortunate to be in this position. You don't want to fall under 500. especially at this time of the year, even though, it's May, but you're still trying to compete while the Mariners are kind of near your level too. And you want to take advantage of how their offense is not showing up as well. So before we get out of here, that'll do it for the 214 Sports Show. I do want to shout out the Dallas Stars, who unfortunately lost last night in Game 5 to make it now a Stars 3-2 lead, heading back to Game 6. They'll be playing their Game 6.
Shout out Dallas Wings too.
Dallas Wings too, starting their season. Enrique
victory.
Ogunbowale getting it done right there. Did they win? I believe. Did they win?
Yeah, they beat Chicago Sky.
Yeah, I thought so. They beat the Chicago Sky 87-79. Looking to move arenas, I believe I heard.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, it's in Arlington. I still haven't been to a game, and now they are finna move arenas, man. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. Dallas Stars lost 5-3 last night. If TJ was here, he would offer way more analysis than we do. We're just not exactly. We're not hockey savants like TJ, but they lost 5-3. You weren't expecting the Colorado Avalanche just to die down that quickly, but
sure.
After that 2-2 tie, Colorado basically took over that game, and they took over from 3-2 in Dallas. So back on the road goes this series as the Stars will travel back to Colorado to play Game 6 on Friday. As we're recording this on Thursday morning, we're playing in Colorado tomorrow at 9 o'clock. So that will do it for us here on the 214 Sports Show. Courtney, you want to give your socials really quick?
Yeah, man. Brain fart. My Instagram is gonna be clivesdalife, CLIVESDALIFE, and then my Twitter is gonna be C_Machado.
Yeah, for me, you can follow me on X and Instagram at Joseph_Duffy99. If you want to follow the LinkedIn too at Joseph_Duffy99. I be connected with random people. They probably think I'm just a bot too. I got the nice little Edley picture too. I switched. I'm no longer doing the little suit picture on the stool anymore. I'm doing the Edley picture, and then when I'm looking that way, just looking down. I don't know why. I just really like that picture with the polo.
It's a good picture, man.
It's a good
I
picture.
think you want to think you're a bot because I thought you were a bot when you put that profile picture too. Oh, that's AI.
At Joseph_Duffy99 on Instagram and Twitter. And I'm just starting to really, find my groove in posting on TikTok. I never really did it. I've always been kind of a lurker on TikTok. But I'm like, let me just go and start posting some sports, taking some random stuff and see how it goes, because this app's probably about to die. So let me get my stuff in before they possibly ban the app, because I've been on it since pre-COVID. I might as well start doing something on it. But you could follow me at Joseph_Duffy99 on Instagram and Twitter. For the show-wise, you can follow at 214 Sports Show. It's the same thing now. It's actually 214 and then spell Sports Show, 2 S's right there in the middle right there, as you would expect, Sports Show on TikTok. Also, you can follow the 214 Sports Show on Instagram, and then also X as well. And then YouTube and Spotify will repost these podcasts in their full length. You can follow that at the same at the 214 Sports Show. We post those recordings usually the next day at 9 a.m. So that'll do it for us here on the 214 Sports Show. Joseph Duffy, Courtney Machani here, and TJ Crowell's absence. We'll be right back with another episode next week. Thank you for joining us here on episode 39 of the 214 Sports Show. Have a good week.